What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the Playmakers Corner podcast. I'm your host for this episode, Simon Villanoz, aka Coach V. This is episode 358, being recorded on Cinco de Mayo, May 5th, 2024 here, and we got a good episode for you. A rare spring tackle football episode. You know, usually during these springs, we're talking about women's flag football, which shout out to them. They got their national tournament this week. Cody and Gino will be hopping on flights pretty much later on the day that this episode will be released to go to Atlanta, so shout out them and check out our women's flag football series. But on this episode, we're going to go ahead and talk about Mile High Prep and this Prep Super League that they are a part of. Some of you may or may not know what that is about, so this intro I'm going to talk about them, what they do, and address some controversies after talking to some people at Mile High Prep, as well as doing some of my own research to set the record straight. And so let me go ahead and talk about this Prep Super League first. So pretty much it is a tackle football league, a new spring football league for aspiring college football prospects seeking supplemental instruction and enhanced competition in a less restrictive environment to pursue NIL deals. That is what is said on their literal about bio on their website, prepsuperleague.com, so you could check it out there. And that's exactly what it is. It's a tackle football league, 11 on 11, pretty much all the same rules of football. I think the only thing that is slightly different, and I guess this is a little bit of a spoiler, is that there are no kickoffs or kick returns there. There are punts and punt returns, but no kickoffs, kick returns. They just start and go, which I think, I mean, it makes sense. It's a spring football league, and, you know, it is advertised to have some of the best players in the entire country. When I go to their frequently asked questions section on the website, there is a section that says who should apply to participate in this Prep Super League, and it lists off a whole bunch of different types of players. So I'm just going to go ahead and summarize / just talk about it. You know, you could check this out on their website. It's not hard information to find, but basically here are the main requirements in this. So you have to be enrolled in an accredited middle school or high school. That's the big one there. As far as age requirements go, the youngest you can be is a 6th grader entering grade 6th grade in this fall of 2024. So I guess technically 5th grader, but in all the games that we have seen or heard of, that is just not going to happen with the kind of competition you have here. So there you go. And I say that because the oldest you can be is a current senior. So a senior that's going to graduate, you know, right now in the spring 2024, but you cannot be over the age of 19 years and 9 months at the start of the season, which is in April. So you have to be younger than that. So there's not that big of a age gap there, which, you know, I have heard and seen accusations of them being the next Bishop Sycamore. Obviously, that is not true with these age requirements, and I could definitely say that about Mile High Prep, who we were able to see live and, you know, do have those connections with, and that is obviously confirmed there, as most of those players are juniors / you have a couple of sophomores here and there, but most of them are juniors who we have actually seen play in the fall before. So that is one piece of fake news that is already proven wrong there. On top of that, all athletes who can participate or who are wanting to participate in this league must reside in one of the league cities. So one of the cities that have a team or that area. So there you go there. It does say at the bottom, though, I don't live in any of the cities where a Prep Super League team is located. Can I still apply for selection? The answer to that is yes. However, any player who's accepted must reside outside the area, would need to relocate for the season. I assume, like, you know, go to those games and whatnot as well. So there are definitely no rules or anything saying that a player from another state can participate with another team. And so that kind of leads me to my next thing here. And this is still about participation. A player from Colorado applied to be a part of the Super League and whatnot, and obviously wanted to be a part of the Denver Mile High Prep team out here that is a part of that Prep Super League. Obviously, it makes the most sense as far as travel and whatnot goes. Now, this is something that one of our sources said, and it's coming directly from someone from Mile High Prep, but he said, yeah, the league reached out to kids who signed up for the league's website to have them supplement other rosters of opposing teams. Specifically in this one, in the Denver versus San Francisco game, the league reached out to that kid and asked if he may want to play for Team San Francisco, who would be playing Mile High Prep here this last weekend, May 5th. And I assume they did that just so that they had some extra depth. They had some spots where, he could get in there and just play football, full pads in the spring here. Obviously, it would be for the one game, but he would be residing in Denver where this game would take place, in Colorado where this game would take place. And they wanted to do that just so that, they had the numbers and made sure that an actual game was put on for this one. Now, you at home may be asking, oh, that's weird. Why is it only Colorado players being asked to supplement this team and whatnot? Because I will say this, there was at least one Colorado player on the Las Vegas team that Mile High Prep played last week when they played in Nevada. And, the answer to that is pretty simple. Mile High Prep, they are the only team in this league that is kind of like their own franchise, right? The league doesn't have too much to do with them outside of providing them a platform, games, schedules, and whatnot, which is out of their hands, the opponents that they play. But anyways, Mile High Prep is the only team that is owned and funded by a outside source, independent investor, and that is the Upswing Foundation, which is based right here in Colorado in Lakewood. So shout out to them. Make sure you check them out. They do a lot for athletes. You could actually see on their website, there is a page that talks about all the money that they've committed to supporting athletes in their communities, which, they're based in Colorado, so those are Colorado athletes. And so Upswing, they have provided a lot of money and invested a lot of money into Mile High Prep between unis, travel expenses, hotel accommodations, as well as, I assume, renting out Marv K. Field, which is the football field, the football stadium that Colorado School of Mines uses, which, by the way, we're kind of national runner-ups the last 2 years, so obviously that is not cheap either. But they've obviously invested a lot of time into this team here and into this franchise, Mile High Prep. And actually, I should say time and money, especially money, into that. And so Colorado as a community should be very thankful for this opportunity. 50 athletes get to have the opportunity to travel, to play players from different states, which honestly is more than what some high school football programs, even the best ones in the state, are doing. That exposure playing other football programs in pads, by the way, not 7v7, but 11v11, that is big time. And that's something that a lot of these players have not experienced yet because of the lack of funding in a football program, or just being honest, the lack of passion in some of those communities and programs who, haven't provided that. And so this is filling a need that other states, other football states, have provided more easily to their community students and football programs. And so getting back on track here, because of that additional investment that, we haven't really seen ever, Mile High Prep is able to do a lot more than some other football programs, and that includes having a very good social media team, presence, reach, that was able to do a lot of advertising for Denver's, for Colorado's specific league here in the PSL, right? And so they're able to reach out to players from the metro area, from southern Colorado, northern Colorado, all that great stuff, who all make the drive to Denver / I guess Golden as well, to compete in this league. And you had a lot of players who applied, and it definitely makes sense that because of that extra exposure on social media, you have a lot of Colorado players who are able to participate or who want to participate because they signed up for this thing in this league. That is pretty much the only way they're able to get information about those players here and get their contact information. If you go to the website, once more, you go to the PSL website, you could see that they obviously have included a link to sign up and apply for this league. And because Mile High Prep is still a part of this league, even though they are invested and mostly independent, they are still a part of this league. You can also see a very similar link that is provided on Mile High Prep's website. And so I assume that information has been shared with the league. And so when there are some shortages with some of the teams they played, like a Vegas, like San Francisco, then they're going to obviously ask players in Colorado, where this, football game that we're going to talk about later in this episode took place. But it makes the most cost efficient sense to ask those players, hey, you signed up for this. You asked if you could be a part of this league. Do you want to join this team? And then obviously it's down to the player. They could make that choice. Obviously they have parents as well, guardians. They can help them make that choice. And then you go from there. It's a 1-game deal. There are still obviously walkthroughs and pads and whatnot. And on top of that, these kids do other stuff as well. Mile High Prep do other stuff. The athletes do other stuff like track, like 7v7. So they're not practicing every day. That is definitely not it. I assume it's like 1 or 2 practices a week at max, which already kind of seems like a lot in a very crowded spring season. And so they don't have that big of a advantage over some of these kiddos who are kind of getting into it and figuring things out. Now, as far as winning and stuff goes, yeah, obviously that chemistry may or may not be there, but they are just kind of filling a role over there. And on top of that, these are at youngest middle schoolers, but like I said, I don't think there's any of them that we saw in this game or that were in the previous game that Mile High Prep played. But these are high schoolers. If they don't know how to play football safely, that is actually on the high school football coaches who were not able to coach them correctly. And it's very interesting seeing some of the coaches. This is a side tangent, by the way. I promise I'm going to get to the recap here real soon. But it's very interesting seeing the type of people who are against this league and the type of coaches. I'll be very clear there. There are some very interesting coaches who not only are opposed this, but are calling for this league to fold and for this opportunity to be taken away from the best players in Colorado. I think it's fair to say that you can question the interest of these coaches. And honestly, I'm just going to leave it there. That is my personal opinion. That's the opinion, not just of me, but of everyone else, all 5 of us on the podcast. Myself, Cody, Gino, Mason, by the way, welcome back, Phoenix, Gideon. We all agree that the opposers of this league are very interesting people. And there you go there. But other than that, we love what we saw there. Shout out to the Prep Super League and Mile High Prep here. We love being able to see all these star players come together and play some good football, very well coached. They're coached by, former college coaches and whatnot as well. I believe the head coach for Mile High Prep is Bob Stitt, who was the head coach of the Colorado School of Mines here from 2000 to 2014, going 108, overall 108 and 62. And then he also was the head coach of Montana from 2015-2017. That's big time. I also believe as well he was an OC for Texas State. And so he's a college coach. He knows this thing. And him and his staff have provided great coaching to these boys as we watch them go compete. So there you go there. That is Mile High Prep. That is the Prep Sports League. This is something that we're going to hopefully try to cover whenever they are in town. There are 2 more home games, which we will talk later. But there you go there. This Prep Super League, one of the first tackle high school football leagues in the country ever, I want to say, which is big time as well. And we're lucky to have Mile High Prep help represent Colorado, which is made up of all the best Colorado high school football players in the state. And so this week they got the opportunity to play a team from San Francisco, California, as well as some other Colorado players who are supplementing a couple spots for that squad and roster. And so without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into the recap. All right, now let's go ahead and talk about this Prep Super League game. We have Mile High Prep representing Colorado versus San Francisco, obviously over there from that area, the Bay Area in California, as well as a couple Colorado players supplementing that squad. This game took place at Marv K Stadium, which is the stadium that the Colorado School of Mines uses for football. By the way, two-time national runner-up, so it was really cool being able to be on the field and watch these great players go compete. Going into this game, Mile High Prep coming off of a nice 20-plus point win over Vegas and Nevada last week. And so I believe this would actually be their very first home game, which is exciting to say the least. But before we hop into the actual recap, just a quick note, all the rules that they play by in this Prep Super League are college rules, but there is no kickoff or kick return. There are punts and punt returns, but instead of that, they just start on the 30 after touchdown, so just keep that in mind. And so here we go. Mile High Prep will go ahead and start with the ball. Quarterback Alex Birch, a junior currently from Horizon, starting here, and he gets the party started with a 30-yard pass to left to number 18 here. That's Elijah Roy out of Pine Creek, the junior as well, fellow junior as well. That goes for a nice first down to get them moving. Following that, Birch gets a snap in shotgun and throws a quick pass right here. Looks like it's a screen route, I want to say, to number 11. That is Cash Spence, the sophomore out of Valor Christian, who gets this play and turns it upfield. He makes 4 defenders miss and cuts it across the field, reversing fields, and scores on an electrifying touchdown, which gets this crowd going. You gotta love it. Just a great play here by Cash Spence with the ball in his hands. But unfortunately, a holding penalty was called against Mile High Prep, and so that'll undo the play as well as push them back a couple of yards. So there you go there. And Cody, he writes down here, following another penalty play as well right after that. So it's now first and eternity. And on this first down, 2 plays later from the OG first down that got them a score, they take a deep shot here, but it is incomplete. On second down, they run it up the middle with number 12. That is Adrian Samala, the running back from Arvada West, the sophomore running back from Arvada West here. He goes ahead and sets up a pretty solid 3rd and 5 here for Mile High Prep. Now, 3rd and 5 here. San Francisco, they have someone coming off the edge here, but Alex Birch at quarterback stays cool, calm, and collected, delivers a strike in that mindset, in that mood, right to number 19. That is Jackson Blanchard here, the junior from Castleview, the 6'4", 225 tight end, who also had 2 tutties last week against Vegas, but he goes ahead and he gets a nice gain here for a first down. But on the following first down play, there's a false start here. They would end up just running it with 12 on that one. And so now that sets up a 2nd and 10. On second down, Alex Birch, he reads the field and he finds Jackson Blanchard one more time over the middle on a nice gain here for a first down in time, in rhythm here. So that gets them another one as they are rolling. They will then get another first down left here, but unfortunately, that would be brought back due to another holding call. So now it's 1st and 20, but no worries. 1st and 20, Alex Birch takes a shot down the left sideline here to the Valor Christian receiver, Cash Spence, who brings in a nice catch for the touchdown to get on the board. The PAT would be good, and so just like that, Mile High Prep goes up 7-0 with about 8 minutes left. Now for San Francisco, they go ahead and start on the 30 at quarterback. I believe is sophomore quarterback from Arvada West, actually, Logan Tuhacek. He gets a snap and rolls right. He has a lot of time here, and he just throws a very ill-fated pass over the middle across his body that is intercepted by number 40 of Mile High Prep. That is Fairview's Brock Colston, the junior 6', 220-pound linebacker who makes him pay for that bad decision. Definitely forced it there, and so Mile High Prep takes over in enemy territory, and here's how it goes down on first down. It's a play-action throw. Alex Birch still in, by the way. He throws it right to number 24. That is Raymond Sarno, receiver from Cherry Creek here. I believe he is a freshman receiver from Cherry Creek. He makes a defender miss and then gets popped at the 30 here, but not without getting a pretty nice gain. They then hand it off to number 5, Tyler Anderson here, the junior running back from Legacy, and he goes for about 5 there. Following that, I believe this is third down, either it's second or third down here, but Birch, he gets a snap and he throws a dot between two defenders back to Cash Spence out of Valor Christian, who reels in his second touchdown and also putting Mile High Prep on the board for their second. PAT is good. They go up 14-0 just like that very early in this first quarter. Following that, San Francisco takes over. They hand it off to number 28, the running back. He stopped for a yard. Following that, San Fran runs a counter right, and 31 burst at just the right time for their first down of the game. But on first down there would be a snap that is botched, and so that would set them back a couple yards. A run left would go for no yards, and that would bring up a 3rd and 11. Now, this would be a very not clean set of plays after that, but there would be a delay of game, false start, as well as a dropped interception by Mile High Prep. Still a pass deflection, though, but an ill-advised pass here. That would eventually force a 4th down, and they would punt it. Now, Mile High, MHP here, they would start on their 37, and this is how it would go down here. They go ahead, and I believe they put in running back Adrian Samala from Arvada West. He gets the handoff and goes left for a solid gain of 8. A great blocking by the offensive line all game, by the way, there. So there you go there. That continues. That's shown in that 8-yard gain. Following that, they pass it left to number 18. That is Elijah Roy, the junior receiver out of Pine Creek here. He goes ahead and picks up another first down. After that play on first down, Birch gets a snap. He passes it down the middle, but it draws a PI call there. So that sets them up for a first down. Following that penalty, then there would be a short run, which would go for a couple yards. But following that, there would be a pass left to number 88. That is the junior wide receiver out of Valor Christian, Jace Beal, who would go ahead and give them a first down on third down, I want to say. Or, sorry, second down. So there you go there. After that first down gain, they would go ahead and hand it off to number 23 here. That is Jaden Green, the sophomore running back out of Arvada West. And he would go for a nice run, just the line clearing the way for him, and that would put them inside the 5. They would go back to Jaden Green here, and he would go ahead and punch it in to put Mile High Prep up 21-0 with only, I believe there are 11 minutes here left in this second. At this point, it would be in the second quarter. Now, San Francisco will take over on the 30, trying to get something going here, but it looks like the snap is botched again. This time, the quarterback just mishandling it. He picks it up, tries to run around, and then just kind of throws it up in the air. A very bad pass here, and it falls to the hands of 99 of Mile High Prep. That is Marcus Adams, the defensive lineman from Cherokee Trail Jr., by the way. He takes that to the house, making it 28-0. A great play by him to take advantage of that mistake. Now, San Francisco would take over, but this would just not be a great drive here. First off, on first down, it's a pass batted down by the Cherry Creek linebacker, Ashton Shepardson, a junior, who would kind of continue the woes for the San Francisco team, causing those woes, by the way. Then they would run for basically no gain. Great pursuit by the defense. And then following that, there would be a pass breakup. And so Mile High Prep will get the ball back here with a couple minutes, about 6 or 7 minutes, I want to say, left here in the quarter. And here's what happens. Birch still in at quarterback. He throws left to Cash Spence here, who gets a first down and gets them going. A couple plays later, a penalty would put Mile High Prep into the red zone. I believe it was a PI call there, actually, that will put them into the red zone. And then in the red zone, first down here, Birch gets a snap, turns right, and throws a fade route here to 88 here. That is Jason Beal, and it's a perfect throw, but on top of that, Beal just makes a very physical catch here, a electrifying catch for the score to go up 35-0 with about 4:53 left. This one is pretty much over here. I'm just going to go ahead and summarize what happened the rest of this game. San Francisco would get this next drive going with a nice deep shot left, caught by number 1. A good throw by Logan Tuhacek, who's there at quarterback. That would put them on the opposing 29 here. Their first trip, I want to say, past midfield, but they fizzle out on that one. Mile High Prep will get the ball, and they would just run out that half, and that would be that. In the second half, it would be pretty uneventful for the most part. The clock was just running as it was already 35-0. They put in a couple different players just to see what they could do, so a couple of the backups got in, which I absolutely love. They would replace Alex Birch, who I believe only played that first half here, with Dawson Oak, a incoming senior, a junior right now, but incoming senior from Valor Christian, and he would get a lot of reps in that one. But in the second half here, San Francisco, they would play a different quarterback here. It looks like a quarterback that was previously on their roster, number 16. He would originally find some success. A lot of it was just mistakes made by Mile High Prep. That's why they're, moving the ball pretty well here. But that drive would end with Brock Colstead getting another interception that he took to the house, by the way. He turned on the Jets on about a 40 or 50 yard return there. But unfortunately, a penalty after the interception would bring that back. Regardless, though, in the fourth quarter, Mile High Prep would score it one more time. That quarterback, Dawson Oak of Valor Christian, would go ahead and unleash a 50-50 deep bomb down the right sideline. And it would be an electrifying play brought down by a Fairview receiver. That would be Luke Strickland, number 14, a junior right now over there at Fairview. And this was just a very aggressive catch by Strickland to go ahead and put Mile High Prep on the 14, setting up this next score, which would end up being a Tyler Anderson touchdown to make it 40-0. Vincent Vigil at the end of this game from Arvada West. He's a defensive lineman. He would get a nice strip sack there, which would be recovered by San Francisco, but would basically end the hopes of that drive going anywhere. And so that would be the end of the game. Mile High Prep winning dominantly 42-0 against a underhanded San Francisco team, but still a big time performance in their first home game by Mile High Prep. Now Gideon, he was able to interview two players from Mile High Prep after the game, and so this first one will be Alex Birch, the junior quarterback out of Horizon High School, who started for Mile High Prep in this game and in the last game as well.
We're here with Alex Birch from Horizon High School today. I believe it's 4 tutties in this huge win. What was your favorite part of today's game?
That we executed the offense very well, and the defense played super well too, so we were just flying around having fun. And we followed our game plan and fully executed 100%.
Very good. And when you were looking at the San Francisco defense, you were able to get a couple of deep balls off. But what cues did you see that gave you the confidence to be able to get a couple, like that deep one to the right to Jace?
You get a couple where the safeties come down, and you have one-on-one coverage on the outside. So if safeties come down, they're playing hard coverage or playing soft a little bit. Usually they'll make a move and they're open deep. So if it's one-on-one out there, you put a high then run under it.
Very good. And what does it mean to you to be able to play here for Mile High Prep?
It's a blessing. I feel like it's a blessing for sure. I mean, upswing has funded us very well. We're being taken care of and getting the best coaching in the state, so it's been super good.
Very Very, very nice. Well, damn good job today, Alex. Keep on putting it on for the box.
All right, thank you, Gideon, for that interview there with starting quarterback Alex Birch of Mile High Prep, as well as Horizon High School. He is just a junior going into his senior year. This next interview would be with a fellow junior player, Marcus Adams, but he had a great performance in this game here playing defensive line for Mile High Prep. He is out of Cherokee Trail, and so here we go. This is Gideon interviewing Marcus Adams after the game.
Today we are here with Marcus Adams from Cherokee Trail High School, defensive end.
Yes, sir.
And I gotta ask you, you get that pick, you're going in the end zone. Are you not entertained? What was going through your mind when that moment happened?
I was just extremely surprised. I really just tried to plug my gap. I saw the ball go up in the air, and I just wanted to go get it and make a play.
You ever got a pick six before?
No, that was my first one ever.
Oh, damn.
It felt really good.
And when you were looking at that offensive line for San Francisco here, what was going through your mind? What allowed you to get the type of pressure that you were able to today?
I just saw that the guys were really big, but they played well. I thought that they were like a little bit slower than I was, so I just tried to use my speed to get around and use the hoop really, to make plays.
Very good.
Make penetration.
Hey, that's the most important part of the game. And what does it mean to you to be able to put it on here for the box with Mile High Prep?
I really think it's a blessing. This opportunity is it doesn't come around a lot. I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful for my teammates. I think we all play pretty good.
Very good. And to close it out, what are you looking forward to most for next week?
For next week, I just think we need to all do our job. If we can keep it on, because towards the end of the game we were a little bit slower. So I think if we can keep it on the whole game and be gap sound and everything is like offense is hype and defense is hype, then we can do good things.
Well, very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Best of luck next week.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Marcus Adams, for that interview, as well as Alex Birch. Great talking with those two, getting them on record for the podcast. I'm going to apologize for the audio there. We did not bring our mics to that one, but we will the next one for sure. So there you go, or hopefully. But moving on, a quick post-game reaction from myself. It was great seeing some tackle football in the spring from these high school players. It was an all-star team out there that was playing extremely good football. They won just how they were supposed to. But, it was really good just seeing some of these players. Some guys that we didn't get to see a whole ton of, play some other competition. And it wasn't like that San Francisco team didn't have talent at all. They had some pretty solidly sized linemen over there, so it was good to see a lot of that physicality up front. We were watching a lot of that, and as expected, our linemen did well. We have some of the best in the entire country, so there's no doubt about that. At least the scholarship offers for that starting O-line and even our backup line reflect that at the very least. So there you go there. And altogether, it's just a good product. It's good seeing them get out there, go play. Unis look crisp, right? And I know they're going to be posting some highlights on Mile High Prep social media pages on Instagram, Twitter, all that great stuff. So make sure you check that out. And I believe also the Prep Super League will be posting some stuff there. So make sure you check that out as well. But, a pretty solid first game. It's definitely not going to be this easy. Talked with a couple coaches or talked with a coach over there at Mile High Prep, and they definitely expect these last 3 games to be pretty different from these first 2 as they travel to Dallas next week and play a Dallas squad, a Texas squad over there, and then they'll be playing Atlanta and Houston here at home following that. So that'll definitely be interesting to cover that here in a couple weeks. Now, because this is still a spring league, and basically these are all exhibition type of games. There's no playoffs or anything crazy like that. We wanted to take a pretty unique approach about this and talk about all the players that really impressed us here, because it is that. It's for the kids. It's for them to get exposure to other colleges. And so myself, Gideon, Phoenix, Mason, Cody, and Gino all picked a handful of different players from that Mile High Prep team who really impressed us in this game. And so let's go ahead and get to it here. We have a couple playmakers of the game here. Let's go ahead and start with Gideon. He is going to go with Cherokee Trail's Marcus Adam. That is number 99 for that squad. He said an absolute beast off the edge, using speed and power to his advantage against that offensive line, creating some good pressures and making it very hard for the QB to get his work done. So there you go there. Marcus Adams also having that big time pick 6 that was thrown directly to him, but for a defensive lineman to take that and bring it to the house, big time. Love that. Gideon will also shout out Valor Christian wide receiver Cash Spence. He's number 11 for Mile High Prep. He says this: I knew that he was the truth when I saw him against Cherry Creek his freshman year at State, but the way he was able to perform, simply outmaneuvering every DB that came his way, was very impressive and caught my eye. So there you go there, Gideon going with Marcus Adams and Cash Spence here, both big impact players. Now moving on to Phoenix, he had 2 players here as well, starting with Fairview's junior linebacker, number 40 for Mile High Prep, Brock Colstead here. He said he's got great size and was a solid core piece of that defense. He also has great speed, who can read the QB well and read the play very well, as he did get 2 interceptions in this game, covering over the middle. He probably could have had 3 as well, but still, making big time plays, forcing those 2 turnovers. In addition, Phoenix will go with Alex Birch out of Horizon High School, another junior for this team, aka number 1 for Mile High Prep. He said he made a lot of quick throws and has some solid chemistry with this offense. What he lacks in size, he makes up with speed and intelligence. He's a smart player out there. He knows what he's doing, and absolutely gotta agree with that. Moving on here, let's go to Mason. He watched a lot of the linemen, so he's going to show them some love, starting with number 58 for Mile High Prep, Ned Zelinskis, a lineman for Mile High Prep, obviously, as well as a junior lineman for Cherry Creek. Mason's descriptions are a lot shorter, but he said he was dominating as a run blocker, and he has a powerful first step and great vision. Zelinskis really impressed him there. Mason also really liked number 75 for Mile High Prep. That would be Cannon Smith. Played a lot of left tackle this game, out of Valor Christian. I believe he is a sophomore currently. He just had 2 words. He said he's virtually unstoppable, which is true. He dominated his matchup throughout this entire game. And then last but not least, Mason is also going to shout out T.I. Umukais here, a defensive tackle for Cherry Creek. He is a sophomore. A lot of D1 offers already, and Mason has seen him play in middle school as well as me. We were able to cover him then. And if you want to check out those episodes, you could go way back and find those. But he said this about T.I. He said, I've watched multiple broken double teams. He brings an unchangeable attitude to the game, and that speaks a lot. There was some chippiness in this game, but T.I., he kept his cool and he just played ball, which is what he does and why he's one of the best in the entire state and the entire country, to be honest with you. So there you go. Those are the 3 linemen that Mason wanted to shout out. Cody wanted to select these players for his playmakers of the game. He is going to go with number 88, Jace Beal of Mile High Prep, also of Valor Christian. He is a junior currently. He said he had the play of the game with that tough catch, good body control on the fade route on that right side. That was electric. That really got the crowd going. I'd have to agree with that. Cody is also going to go with Keegan Perea, number 80, edge rusher out of Cherry Creek, who is a junior for them, number 80 for Mile High Prep, by the way. But he says this about Keegan. He says, not only do I think that he got a good push up front, but he was also low-key keyed in on the flats, so his ability to both cause pressure and impact the pass game in rush and coverage was a neat wrinkle that I had not anticipated, as he made a lot of noise there in the passing game, disrupting that passing game. So there you go there. Those are those 2 players. And then Gino, he will go with 1 player here. He's going to go with with Vincent Vigil. He says he's just a beast off the edge. I mean, he's freakishly fast, who's going to be a problem this year. He's just a headache to guard who seem to be in on every play. And so there you go there. That's number 56 for Mile High Prep, and that's Vincent Vigil, the defensive lineman, junior defensive lineman out of Arvada West. So there you go there. A couple players that we wanted to shout out here. I wanted to shout out Peyton Burkar of Columbine, aka number 50 for Mile High Prep. He played center. He is, I want to say, their smallest lineman out there. He did a good job though. He was tough against some pretty big defensive players, but really liked him. Also shout out Luke Strickland, who made a tough catch in coverage. It was good coverage, but he just went up and got that one. So shout out him. And wanted to shout out a couple other players. I think there's a lot of players you could shout out. There's a lot of familiar faces over here for sure. But Oliver Miller, number 74 for Mile High Prep, a sophomore lineman for Cherry Creek. He's the truth. He did extremely well out there along with Peyton Burkar. And then as far as skill players go, Adrian Samala really impressed me. Didn't have the most carries. They were able to air it out a lot here. And then following that, they gave some carries to other running backs, but he looked really good. Love the burst that I'm seeing and the athleticism, just pure athleticism over there. He's also gotten a bit bigger through the off season, so it was good seeing him carry that weight well and make it the right decisions. But altogether, a lot of great players that we wanted to shout out in this one. There's going to be plenty more that we're going to talk about here in the following games. But those are your playmakers of the game from the May 5th, 2024 matchup between Mile High Prep and San Francisco here in the Prep Super League. But that'll do for this episode. This was a pretty short one here. Just wanted to explain what the league was, shout them out. Make sure you go ahead and check out those games if you're in that Colorado area or anywhere else. There's going to be games in Dallas, Houston, and Atlanta here in the coming weeks as those teams have been readying up. So there you go there. But we're going to make sure to go to this next home game for Mile High Prep at Houston. And then we are also going to go to the Atlanta game, which will be at home here as well, over at Marv K Stadium in Golden, Colorado. So there you go there. Make sure you show us some love on social media at Playmakers Corner and give us a follow just so you know when the next episode covering those games will drop here. We will be posting the video form of the interviews that we had on this podcast, as well as some of the big highlights that happened in this game. Also, go ahead and show some love to Mile High Prep and this Prep Super League. They'll be posting a lot of their own content as well, including players who are mic'd up, as well as game highlights. You could check out some of the highlights from the previous week in Vegas that were pretty fun to watch here. And all I gotta say is that it's great to have a spring football league. It's a great opportunity for these kids, and definitely looking forward to more. But until then, we will catch you later.